Alright everyone, welcome to Game 2 of the 2028 National League Division Series. The Mets won Game 1 against the Atlanta Braves in pretty improbable fashion, pitching Connor Phillips against Spencer Strider. And that is probably the only game of this series that we will have where we will be the underdogs in terms of the pitching matchup, because now we have our ace, Tarek Skubal, who pitched pretty well against the Diamondbacks in Game 1 of the Wild Card Series, going up against Zach Eflin, who at this point in his career has sort of just become an average pitcher, though he still has good ratings. I am trotting out the same lineup, the same exact, I'm trotting out, there it is. I am putting out the same lineup that we have for the past 2 games. It has been working out for us. We've scored 4 runs in each of the past 2 games. And with our solid pitching, it hasn't mattered much at all. And so, here we go. So, Evan Carter will lead off at 8:05 p.m. against Zach Eflin here at a sold-out Truist Park, or at least I'm assuming it's sold out. It should be sold out, but yeah. And it's a leadoff strikeout. Here's Francisco Alvarez, who works a full count. I think, like yesterday, what we want is to really work up this pitch count, which we did not do against Spencer Strider, so we can get to the bullpen earlier. Of course, in Game 1, what happened is Bellinger homers, so we have the lead 1-0. Hits up ball way gone. First homer of the postseason, 421 feet, and we are up 1-0 here in the top of the first. Last game, as you all saw, Spencer Strider was pitching into the 7th inning, at which point he ran out of gas and gave up the lead to us. So, sort of a similar plan, though ideally we can get him out of this of this game before that, and really dig deep into their bullpen. Here is Pete Alonso. And Alonso strikes out. So I believe that's 3 strikeouts that Eflin just had. But he threw 21 pitches to do it. Here's our bullpen. Obviously, after Mike Vasil's great performance, we're going to try staying away from him. But really, everybody else, we can pitch again. On their side, they're going to hide. They're going to sort of try to avoid Angel Perdomo, but besides that, they can pitch anyone else. So, here is Michael Harris II. We're now seeing the Braves line up against left-handed pitchers instead of right-handers. And it is a lead-off fly-out to center field. Evan Carter gets up and throws it back into the infield. Here is Austin Riley, who was hitting 5th or 6th last time. And he hits a little dribbler up in front of Alvarez. Alvarez fires to first. And we have the outs. Here is Ronald Acuna Jr. And Acuna into right field, but a diving catch by Spencer Torkelson gets the out, and we get through the first inning unscathed, leading 1-0, and Skubal only threw 6 pitches, which is exactly what you want. Here is Brandon Nimmo. And Nimmo reaches a full count and grounds out to the second baseman. Good on him to get a lot of pitches in, though. That was a 7-pitch at-bat. Torkelson, meanwhile, will have a 2-pitch at-bat as he hits a liner to the first baseman, Olsen. Now here's Christian Hernandez. He gets to an 0-2 count immediately, and he strikes out on a check swing. So Eflin only throws 12 pitches there. Now we face the heart of the order, Olsen, Murphy, and Albies. Here is Olsen, and he's going to fly out to Bellinger and left. Now here is Sean Murphy. And Murphy into left field, but it will also be caught by Bellinger. And so now here comes up Ozzie Albies. And Albies deep into right center field, and this game is tied. Ozzie Albies goes oppo against Tarek Skubal, and we are tied at 1. Here's Estuary Ruiz. 2-1 to Ruiz, and he hits a grounder to Vargas. He will fire to Alonso, and they get the 3rd out. So we get the 3 outs. However, Ozzy Albies hits a home run to tie it. Here comes, it's the 8-9-1 hitters for both teams this inning. Bazana, Vargas, and Carter for us. Bazana on a 1-0 count hits a ground ball to Riley, and he fires to first to Olsen to get Bazana out. Here comes up Juan Vargas. And Vargas, it's a ground ball to the shortstop. And we're not exactly putting together long at-bats here, which is not what we want. We want to really be running up Eflin's pitch count in order to get to that bullpen. Carter does a good job, but he strikes out for the 2nd time this game, and for the 4th time this series in 6 at-bats. The 3-1 to Alex Mooney, and it is a fly out to center field. Here's Orlando Arcia, and Arcia pops out, caught by Alonso. And now here's Michael Harris II, and that is going to be a base hit for Michael Harris. His name is Austin Riley. The 0-2 to Riley, and he strikes out looking. And so that will end the 3rd inning, still tied at 1. School at 43 pitches, Eflin only at 44 now. We have the 2-3-4 hitters, and Alvarez with a leadoff single. So a good start for us here on the top of the 4th. Now here's Cody Bellinger. He works a full count, and he hits a base hit into right field. Alvarez will try to go to 3rd. The throw by Acuna will not be in time, and Bellinger will advance to 2nd on the throw. And so we now have runners on 2nd and 3rd and no outs. It appears that the stream is having some trouble. I'm going to just hope for the best with that. Let me just do something real quick. Okay. Sorry, I'm just checking something real quick. Okay, I think we're good. And so now here is Pete Alonso hitting against Woo Suk Go. Oh, we got Eflin out. Eflin, he does have pretty good stamina, but I guess it wasn't enough. So, the full count. And Alonso will fly out to the center fielder. Alvarez is not a fast runner. Oh, and we actually have a decision here to make. Do you want to signal Francisco Alvarez to tag up from 3rd base and try to score? The ball is outfield depth. Alvarez is an average runner, and Michael Harris II has a cannon arm for an arm. I am going to take the right. I think the play. Oh, this is a horrible decision. He is out by a mile. So it is a double play. And they're why are they booing? That was a good thing for your team. What the freaking hell? Alright, so that was a bad decision. Here comes up Brandon Nimmo. So now we're going to be much more cautious for the rest of the playoffs. And that's how it works. You make one mistake, and then you do the complete opposite. Alright, so we had a golden opportunity to score, and we screwed it up. Strike 3. Let's see if Acuna is still a good base runner. He is in this universe. We're going to fire to first, and we do not get him. And the ball gets away, so we give Acuna, he doesn't have to steal. He gets a free base. The one out, now he's going for 3rd, and now he steals. And he gets the 3rd safely. And we walk. Who is that? Murphy on 4 pitches. Here comes up Ozzy Albies. And the 2-1. And Albies hits the ball to the 3rd baseman. We get the out at 2nd. They turn to 1st, and we turn the double play. Thank God. Alright, so now we have Torkelson, Hernandez, and Bazana. Torkelson into center, but Harris will make a diving catch. Here comes up Christian Hernandez. And Hernandez strikes out. Now they put in Richard Lovelady. I'm going to stick with Bazana on at the dish. And he will fly out. So we go down 1, 2, 3 in the top of the 5th. Now we go to the bottom of the order. Skubal, we're going to be leaving him on the mound. And Ruiz will hit a flyout to left field to Bellinger. Whoa, I've never seen that angle before. That's very close. Hello there. And a ground out to first base. Now here's the 9-hitter, Orlando Arcia. The full count. And it's going to be a base hit into right field for Orlando Arcia. Okay. So now I probably should have gotten someone up already, but we're going to get up, I think. Let's get up one of the stoppers. Let's get up. Now, this is the middle innings. Let's get up Nick Sandlin. We're going to visit the mound real quick to make sure that Skubal is fine. And the 1-2 to Harris. And he gets the strikeout. So Skubal comes back and prevents any further threats. Skubal's still on the mound for us. We have Vargas, Carter, and Alvarez against Lovelady. And Vargas grounds out to second base. Now here's Carter. And Carter strikes out for the 3rd time. And Richard Lovelady is injured. Let's see if we know what happened to him. He has a mild hamstring strain, so he's out of the game. Now they're bringing the right-hander, A.J. Smith-Shawver. I don't know if he was in their rotation and they were planning to pitch him. It seems not. Where is he? It seems like they did move him to the bullpen for this. And so now here is Francisco Alvarez. He works a full count against Shawver. And he walks. So now we have Bellinger, and now he's in a favorable handedness. And the ball gets away. Alvarez gets the second, and the go-ahead run is in scoring position. Bellinger works a full count. He takes ball 4. So now we have runners on first and second, and Pete Alonso at the plate. The 2-0 to Alonso. And Alonso deep into left field, but it's going to be caught by Estuary Ruiz. And so that ends the inning. Just in case, I'm going to get Nick Sandlin up. But we're going to be leaving him Skubal for the 6th inning to see if he can get us this extra inning. And he gets Austin Riley out. Now it's going to be Ronald Acuna Jr. And he gets Acuna. Acuna slices a ball to right field, but it will be caught by Torkelson. And now here's Matt Olson. And Olson strikes out. So Skubal has a great bottom of the 6th. It might be his final inning for us. We'll see, though, when we get there. So it'll be Nimmo, Torkelson, and Hernandez here in the top of the 7th. And Nimmo grounds out to the second baseman. Here is Spencer Torkelson. And he works a full count. And he grounds out to Arcia. And now here is Christian Hernandez. Let me also, in the pen, I think I'm going to go instead now with Christian Scott instead of, because now it's going to be a higher leverage situation. And it's going to be a strikeout from Hernandez. So we go down in order. And now we're in the bottom of the 7th. Tarek Skubal has been dealing. I think I'm going to take him out, though, and bring in Christian Scott. So we have moved onto our bullpen. They'll have to pitch 3 innings for us. And Scott gives up a leadoff single to Sean Murphy. Here's Ozzy Albies now. And Albies with a base hit. So Christian Scott comes in and immediately gives up 2 base hits. Seems like, again, they throw to third and the runner advances to second. I don't think that this would happen that much in real life, frankly. I'm just going to get up Andrew Salfrank and, let's say, Nick Sandlin, honestly. Just in case something bad happens. Here's the 1-2 to Ruiz, and he hits a base hit that's going to bring in at least 1. And so we get Albie, so they only score 1 run. I know, incredible camera work, and so we all knew what was happening in that play. The ball gets away, and the runner gets the third. That now sets up a potential sac fly from Mooney if he can get it. And he hits a ball down the line. It doesn't matter. He doesn't need a sac fly. He's going to hit a double down the line. So it's going to be 3-1 Braves. I'm going to bring in Nick Sandlin. And Christian Scott just really was not pitching well today. It's going to be another base hit. I mean, it seems like nobody can stop it apparently. And so it's 4-1 Braves. So we get Harris out for the second out. Here comes up Austin Riley against Nick Sandlin. And that is going to be a fly out. But Christian Scott is unable to get more than 1 out, I believe. And 3 more runs end up scoring. Now we have Travis Bazzana, and we are facing Felix Bautista, who is more so an average pitcher at this point. The full count. Ball 4 and Bazzana is on. Here comes up Juan Vargas. Vargas has not been fantastic so far in the postseason. I think I'm still just going to let him hit, though. It's not like he's good at bunting anyways. And he strikes out looking. Here comes up Evan Carter. And a 3-1 hits a little grounder. Murphy throws to second. And they get the lead runner. Here comes up Francisco Alvarez. And Alvarez hits a base hit through the hole. And so now we are up. So now we have runners at first and second. And the tying run is Cody Bellinger. And he steps up to the plate. The 2-2 to Bellinger. And Bellinger into left center field, but it will be caught by Ruiz. Ay. Up, and the stream ended. Did the recording end? The recording did not end. Hang on, guys. My stream ended, unfortunately. Because it crashed. I'm having some issues here. Let me see real quick if this will fix itself. Okay, it does seem like it's saying that I'm online again. So, yeah, I think, okay, no, I'm just gonna finish this game, and if my stream fixes itself, it fixes itself. So we have Sandlin still on the mound, just in case we need another pitcher. I'll bring in Owen White, since we're already down. There's nothing really else I can say about that. A base hit for Acuna. Here comes up Matt Olson. And then we hit Olson on a 1-1 count. Here's Sean Murphy. This might be the final hitter that he faces. And it's going to be a base hit. Acuna did hesitate. Torkelson fires it home. It will be cut off, but Acuna holds. I am going to be bringing in Owen White now. just to see if I can get anybody who can get some outs here, because it seems like Nick Sandlin is unable to. Fly ball, left field. Bellinger settles under it. Does Acuna try it? He does not. So now we have a double play that could end the inning. That could happen. And Ruiz hits a ground ball. We fire home, get the out there, fire back to first, but Ruiz is safe, so we get the 1 out and prevent a runner from scoring. Now here's Alex Mooney. The full count, I swear to God, don't walk him. And we get the strikeout, so we keep the score at 4-1 going into the top of the 9th. They'll leave Bautista in, which is very interesting. He does not have a lot of stamina, and he'll face the middle of our order. The 3-1 to Alonso, and they walk him. So we have a base runner, and I am going to actually be taking him out and putting in, it looks like I should bring in, sorry, I'm just deciding, I will bring in Francisco Lindor. So Lindor makes his second appearance in the postseason. And here goes Brandon Nimmo. And the 1-2 to Nimmo. And he strikes out. Now here is Spencer Torkelson facing against a tiring Felix Bautista. And he hits the ball into right field, and that ball will drop for a base hit, so we will have the tying run here in the bottom of, or in the top of the 9th coming up to bat, and that run is Christian Hernandez. And a full count to Hernandez, and he walks, so the tying run is on base, and the go-ahead run, who is Travis Bazzana, will come up to the plate. Bazzana has had a hit in all 3 playoff games so far, but none yet today. And Bazzana threw for a base hit. 1 run is in. Will the second run try to score? It seems like it will not. So Bazzana gets an RBI single. Now here comes up Juan Vargas. I don't think I have a good pinch hitter for him. And I do not really. And we have runners on first and third. And a very, very tight game. Here is Juan Vargas, the 2-2 to Vargas. And he strikes out looking. Here is Evan Carter now, our last hope. The 1-2 counts. They bring in Angel Perdomo, the lefty. And Carter with a grounder to the second baseman. And despite having the bases loaded, we are unable to score 2 more runs. And the Braves win 4-2. A very disappointing loss. At the end of the day, we just did not have the offense. Even when it started to come there towards the end, we were unable to get the big hit. So here is the box score. Here is as you can see, it was basically 50-50 to win up until the 7th inning when the Braves scored 3 runs to make it 4-1. And we did have a little spike here in the 9th, but it amounted to nothing. Besides that, here you can see Alvarez had 2 hits and a walk. Bellinger 2 hits and a walk. But Alonso went 0 for 3. Nimmo went 0 for 4. Nothing really happening there. Also struggles from the bottom of the order and from Evan Carter, who went 0-5 with 3 strikeouts, and he struck out 5 times in 9 at-bats so far this series. On the pitching side, Tarek Skubal handed in a pretty good performance, giving up only 1 run over 6 innings in his second playoff start. Christian Scott struggled, going only a third of an inning, giving up 3 runs. Nick Sandlin went 2/3 of an inning and gave up 3 hits, one of which scored a run for Scott. However, we then went to Owen White, and he sort of calmed things down there in the bottom of the 8th. Zach Eflin has a sore shoulder, which will influence his throwing, so he might not be able. He wouldn't start another game during the series, but if they wanted him to appear out of the bullpen, he would not be able to. And Richard Lovelady has a mild hamstring strain, which will keep him out for 2 days, so that means only Game 3.